bathrooms and what you're saying? Very good, very good. Well, we've got a few special guests here I want to introduce before we start in. And Sarah, can you come over here? My name is Steve Bost, and I'm the president and founder of the Ozark Chinquapin Foundation. And we're very, very honored to have all of you here for this meeting. And we have a lot of really, really good presentations in store for you, and a lot of new information that's never been released before that hopefully will help you. And we've got all kinds of special guests, but I want to first right now introduce Sarah to you. And she is the superintendent of the park, and I knew this lady from over at Lake Dardanelle State Park, and so I'm really glad to see her move up in the world. And couldn't have a better person here, in my opinion, than Sarah. So Sarah, I'll let you speak a little bit. Thank you.
Let's bring this to short, right? Well, welcome to Mount Magazine State Park. I'm really, really glad to have all of you here on the mountain. I hope you get to explore the mountain some while you're here, in between sessions and this wonderful meeting that they've got planned for you guys, and all the great information that you're going to get. You know, I've been in Arkansas State Parks for 25 years, and like most of my colleagues, we got into this business to really spend time in the outdoors where we loved, and share that passion and energy and enthusiasm with other people that come to spend time in the outdoors. And over those 25 years, I've kind of gone from being that frontline interpreter that got to do the fun educational programs and write the exhibits and do the brochures and work with school kids into more of an administrative role. And that has been great, and I have loved every bit of that. But really spending most of my career at Lake Dardanelle, like Steve said, every year we would have these annual meetings where all the superintendents would get together, and we'd share all of our successes and even some of our failures, and we'd talk about the great things that were going on in our parks. And I was lucky enough to be in a region with Hobbs State Park. And so the Hobbs State Park superintendent would come every year, and he would talk about these great success stories with the Ozark Chinquapin and all the amazing things they were doing at Hobbs, and all the amazing things that Steve was doing at Hobbs. And I remember asking him after those meetings, hey, you think those things would grow at Lake Dardanelle? You think I could get some of those to grow at the lake? And, you know, he said, hey, call Steve. Get with Steve. Get with Steve. And so finally, I think it was around 2018 maybe, that we were finally given the first opportunity, and these guys came and put my crew through a great training session, and we planted our first Ozark Chinquapin seeds at Lake Dardanelle State Park. And that was a big win for me. This was finally something that we were doing that was making a true difference, that was going to be around for years and years to come. And I was at Dardanelle long enough to see those trees grow and form burrs, and we've got some amazing growth, and I think we've planted maybe another 30 at Dardanelle since those initial 10 that we planted back then. And so I've really loved being a part of this project and learning about the research that's being done, and the different strains of blight-resistant trees that are being introduced, and really learning about this success story. And the reason that this is a success story is because of all of you. And you all care about this. You're out there learning, you're out there doing research, sharing that research with others, and going out there and planting the trees and making the difference. And that's what I got into this profession for, and I love to see that happening. And up here on Mount Magazine, we are blessed with an amazing habitat that is home to a lot of rare and threatened species, and so protecting those habitats and doing research and doing programs that bring that habitat back and take care of it, and then having people like Alex here, my park interpreter, go out and do programs and educate visitors and take guests out and show them a Chinquapin tree and talk about what we're doing to save this tree is really what we're in this business for, and we love it, every minute of it. And so thank you for everything that you guys are doing to keep that going, to keep that moving forward. And thank you to Steve and his crew for all the great research that they're doing, and then holding meetings like this to share that information and get it out to the masses and continue that success story. So of all the meetings that we have here at Mount Magazine State Park, this is one that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm so glad to see a room full of people here to spend a couple of days talking about this. And I hope you have time to explore the mountain a little bit. I think Alex has got a hike planned later, and I hope you can go with him and see some of the beautiful trees that we've got here on Mount Magazine, and come back and visit us year after year and go back and see those trees and see how they're doing. But thank you from the bottom of my heart for the great work that you all are doing, and I hope you have a wonderful time here on Mount Magazine. Thanks so much.
Okay, very good. Really, really glad to have everybody up here, and thank you so much for that. And what I want everyone to do, we have so many special guests here today that are helping make this all happen and move forward, and it's going on all across the country. We have people down in Texas that have found trees, and I've talked to elder people that said, you know, I think I was the only one that knew anything about this tree. And the same thing going on in Georgia and in Alabama and other states, and even out to the Atlantic coast, even Delaware. So what we're doing is catching on, and more people are understanding about it and making a difference, and it's really good. So what I want everyone to do is just relax, enjoy your stay. It may not be perfect. We may have little blurbs here and there happen, and I think I may have seen a little blurb I did on my presentation here, but it happens, and we'll go on and move forward. But I just want to welcome everybody to your stay out here and have a good time and get to meet everybody and mingle and just enjoy your stay. And so we have a few special guests here, I think, too, that I need to introduce before we move forward for the first presentation. And what is happening here? So we actually have this year a program inside of a program for the first time ever. And we have as Phyllis the squirrel, correct?
Jennifer.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. And then we have JB over here is the woodpecker. And they're the master naturalists from Northwest Arkansas. And I was at a event at Hobbs State Park. It was a mystery tree hike, and I've never seen anything so inspiring where it involves the young children. And they had 9 characters all together, and they very graciously agreed. And Steve and the superintendent of Hobbs were gracious enough to loan us the costumes. And so they're going to be playing 9 different characters today, correct?
Yes.
In the family kids activity room down at the Sparrow Room. And it's just for the children, the spouses. And if you get a chance, put your head in there and look around. You will not believe what they're doing. I was so inspired. And rare is it that you have 4 to 7-year-old children that understand what you're talking about, something as complicated as a blight, and will actually understand that. I was very, very inspired by this program that Steve Churchill put together, and I just can't say enough good things about it. So thank you. We appreciate it. First presentation, and AJ, which one of these can I use to walk around with and hold, if you don't care to help me with that? By the way, this is AJ Hendershot. He is our vice president, and AJ is the one that keeps everything going. Him and Tori Carson both, where's she at? They're way back in the back. And without good people like this, we all agree they're on the foundation. We could not do our job. And And I had the other day somebody that couldn't believe that we didn't have an office. They couldn't believe that we didn't have a physical address, just a P.O. box. And we're very resourceful with our money. And so the money we would have for heating, electric bills, or office rental, we plow that into making sure that we do the research on the trees. We get them shipped out. You'll find out more about that later. And so if you make a donation to us, it goes very, very far. And I think now's the time to make this little plug about the pens maybe too, isn't it?
It is. It'd be a good time to talk about that.
Okay. We have something very unusual that happened last night. We have some ink pens made. Eddie Estes, where are you at? He's back over here in the back. Eddie Estes is a master carpenter, cabinet maker, and we actually had a recycled Ozark Chinquapin tree, and he lined up the grain on that wood. He bought titanium parts. We had another guy that spent hours and hours designing this logo that's actually burned into the pins, and we only have, I think, where's Doug at? Doug Lowry? He may be out front. I think we said it's 20 pins we were going to sell for the reduced rate. So it sounds like a steep price, but you can't buy this wood anywhere. You can't get the pins anywhere. And for anybody today that wants to buy one, you know, it's before Christmas, we're going to sell them to you without a box for $100 if anybody wants one. We only have 40-something pins is all that we have. But if anybody would like to buy one sometime today, you can go to Doug Lowry and you can take a look at them. These things are made in America, grown in the Ozarks, handcrafted in the Ozarks. And other than the titanium parts come from China, they're all American made. But anyhow, that money goes directly to help us do our work about restoring this tree. And so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn over to AJ just for a minute. And so show me what to do. I'm going to let you do the intro for me.
Just clip that on.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about tea. In the back today, in just a little bit, they're going to bring in 2 urns of tea. Both of them are Chinquapin leaf tea, ethically sourced. And there is a difference between the two. But I'm not going to tell you what that is until later. I want you to try A, and I want you to try B. If you want to be a part of the experiment, I want you to treat it the exact same way. If you sweeten it a little bit, do the exact same thing for A and B. And then you have in the back, there's a slip of paper that has A, B, or same. And you're going to determine, do the 2 teas taste the same or is one of them better? If so, which one? Now, I haven't done anything weird to this, like with possum guts in one and not the other. I haven't done anything that's going to put something in there if you have dietary concerns. Look, it's leaf tea. It's about how they were processed, and I'll tell you what that is later. I'm going to leave that a mystery, but nothing that should concern you. Think, oh, I don't know if I should drink this. It's Chinquapin tea. It does give a little bit of a pharmacological effect for reducing cough symptoms. So if you have a bit of a cough, you might see some changes on that. Otherwise, the pots are not back there yet, but they will by the time we have a break. Be sure to drink one of each and give us a vote if you're willing to do so. I'll cut off the voting after lunch, and then I'll tabulate that, either do it at a break or during my presentation at the end. Okay? So with that, is there anything else we can talk about?
I've got one more question for you right here. Can you advance a look at the slides ahead and make sure I have the right one? Happen. If you don't care, I've got my computer.
You need to swap it with a different presentation.
Yeah, if you don't care, what we can do to make this work. We've had a technical glitch.
We're going to get started here, folks. He gives this presentation